I don't normally do videos like this, but I'm doing the injectors on this LLY Duramax 04.5, and it was a nightmare. It took me 3 hours to do the first three, and I've got about 14 hours in the fourth one. It's a pretty nice old truck, but I talked to 3 different diesel mechanics, and they told me with where I'm at now, it's time to pull the head to get that injector out. Well, I'm here to tell you, I got her out without pulling that injector out. And I'm making this video for the next guy that has this problem and can't get an injector out. So I've tried prying on it. I've heated it up. I've got an injector puller from Merchant Automotive. I actually borrowed it from a buddy. That wasn't worth a shit, but I probably wouldn't have got it out without it. I just didn't use it like Merchant Automotive says to use it. So I borrowed it from a diesel mechanic buddy. He told me to throw it on there, said he's never had it not get one out. Well, all I did was bend the hell out of it. I don't even know where it's at. It didn't work at all, didn't even budge it. And then after heating and prying and beating on it and all kinds of stuff, I've already cracked the upper valve cover and the lower valve cover. These are the 3 new injectors. Like I said, I did all 3 of these in a short afternoon. This is injector number 1, I believe. You can see that. But anyway, so what I did is I got the old engine hoist out. And then I put a small, I think it's a 3/8 chain on it, and then I put it on the puller like this. Injectors sitting in there like this. And the problem was it was pulling straight up, so I wasn't getting anywhere. So what I did is I wedged this stand out from the frame with these 4x4s, so I'd keep it out, and then it was pulling the back up, so I put about 150-pound box of chains on there to keep her down. And this is an 8-ton jack on a 2-ton hoist. I got pretty good pressure on it, still wasn't getting anywhere. So what I did is, this is sitting in here about like that, and I had the right angle on it even, and it still wasn't coming out. So I took my little torch, and I just used a propane torch because these are aluminum heads and I'm not gonna screw that up, but I stuck it in here. The injectors right. Oh, it's so dark. I mean, you can see the other ones. That's how they're sitting at the angle. So it was sitting right up in here. Actually, I could fire up the torch to show you. There you go. That's where she was sitting, right up in there. That's the whole end of the cylinder up there. And then this is the deal. See, I cracked this prying on it, and I cracked the upper valve cover prying on the top of it. So anyway, let me get that light. The injector was sitting in there. That's what it looks like from the top. So the injector was sitting in there like this, and then I stuck a socket. I don't remember which one fits. I stuck a socket on here. I don't know where that went. This isn't the right one. It's not very tight, but you get the idea. Stuck a socket on there before I put pressure on that, and then I put a long, like 12, 14-inch, half-inch extension in there. So while this was, and then I tightened this with pressure. So while this was pulling on it, and I set my torch in there, and the torch was on it for just propped in there for probably 10 minutes straight, heating up that head. And then I had the torch sitting in there. I had this whole apparatus with quite a bit of pressure on that injector. And then while it was in there, I grabbed this with the extension on it. So I had some leverage and just wiggled it back and forth. And I was only getting about that much, maybe a 1/8 inch, 1/16 inch of play. And finally that sucker popped out of there. And the whole, looks like everything came with it except for that copper O-ring. So now I got to try to dig that out of there. But anyway, if your injectors are kicking your ass, that's an option.